Hey Internet, and welcome back to Crash Test Gaming, and today we're going to be talking about DevBlog 144, even more smaller things. Video is going to be cut into two pieces. We're just going to quickly go over and summarize what's actually in the DevBlog. So we're going to look at the exploration mode, the terrain features, events, achievements, and the announcement of the Supporter Edition release. And then we're going to have a look at how Reddit's reacted to the dev blog and anything that might be missing that we'd like to see still from this expansion. Just a brief discussion basically to bring it all together. So let's strap in and we'll get right into it. So the first part of the dev blog has a look at a new exploration mode that's going to be added to the game. It's going to be completely optional, where the map will start in a fog of war that covers pretty much everything, and you will have to discover every village, city, settlement as you go, and that'll be supported with new contracts which will send you off to different settlements to discover them, and it is recommended by the devs only for the experienced players. Now there could be some difficulties with this moving forward, because as you probably know, there's good seed maps and there's bad seed maps, so probably as players would like to see an ability here that the devs could introduce to make sure all the trade goods are on the map, or to make sure there's routes that you can sail on, or to get around the map, because otherwise you're going to start with a map and not really know how efficient or effective it's going to be for certain play styles. But because it's optional, I mean, the people that like to get a really good seed map to play on don't have to use this method. So there's been a bit of feedback on Reddit already about this, and we'll look at that later in the video. So the next part of the blog goes into terrain and how they're going to be changing the way the UI feeds information back to the player. So at the moment, when you hover over, say, a camp or a group of enemies, you just get the many bandits or the many raiders, many reavers, that sort of feedback. You're also going to get terrain feedback, so you know what sort of terrain the combat's going to be on. This will be pretty important when it comes to camps and things like that, because not only will you have things like palisades, as they've gone into in earlier dev blogs, which I've got summarized in a video I did last week. If future me remembers, there'll be a link to that in the top right hand corner. And basically you'll know before you go in what sort of terrain you're going to be fighting on, so you might want to change your strategy around that. So that should help with the new dynamic battle system that the devs are hoping to bring in with this expansion. And moving on, the next section of the blog has a look at the events and how they're going to come into the new DLC. They just mention you'll have fire jugglers be discussing astronomy, and Davkul and his cultists are going to be out in the desert, up to no good, and just things like sunburn and things like that. They show off some new art, and after that, they move on to achievements. And with the achievements, we've had a bunch of them figured out here on Steam by Redditor Ryout0. So shout out to you, man. And they're basically Barrage, Master of Puppets, Campfire Company, Full House, Burn Them All, Assassin, Stonemason, Friend of the South, Victory, Gladiator, and This Is Ours Now. The devs have said that the 12 new achievements are going to be things with defeating new powerful opponents, doing trick shots with the gunpowder weapons like the handgun, winning arena bouts, and more. So any guess what more's about? One of the pictures seems to be that of the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon, so it'll be interesting to see what that is. That's on Steam as the Master of Puppets. But moving on. The dev blog is rounded out with the announcement of another supporter edition by the devs. So this allows us to give the devs a bit of extra money towards their development to support the small four-man company Overhype Studios that makes Battle Brothers, and it comes in the form of a extra banner for you to use for your company of heroes, with a golden eagle above a looks like a bit of a diagonal golden cross with a green finishing for the emblem of your troops. And it's also worthwhile to note here that you can buy Battle Brothers DLC direct from Overhype Studio. And when you do it that way, if you do want to give more money to the developers, so if you're the type of person that's buying the supporter edition, you can contribute directly with a tip there, which you can add to the cost of the DLC. So if you don't like the idea of doing the supporters edition, or you want to give them a little bit more or maybe a little bit less, just go direct. So, and I guess that also has the advantage that Steam doesn't take a 30% cut of the sale when you buy direct from the devs. So just to let you know, battlebrothers.com, sorry, rather battlebrothersgame.com, all one word, is where you can go to sort that out. Okay, now let's have a look at what Reddit's saying about things. So on the Reddit thread for the dev blog, we've got Fatty Boomba. He's really looking forward to the exploration part of that was announced in this blog, but he's a bit worried about getting really far into a map seed and finding that it's not the best. Like, it won't have all the tools, won't have all the trade goods, that sort of things. Villages really far apart. And on the exploration mode, we've got KYO Soroman coming up, giving his 2 cents. He thinks, you know, the number of times that he's restarted with bad seeds, and he's not a big fan of permanent destruction either. But on an edit, he comes around to thinking that he does have a seed finder tools these days. There are several mods that can be used to create maps that suit your play style. So he's looking at it as the best of both worlds. Not Dumb Enough and Neville Linwood, and as I thought, I'm not even going to pronounce that. Really look at it as a question of how to play the game, whether you're min-maxing, whether you're just playing more of a role-playing, whether you change your play style to fit the map, or you go into a game expecting to play a certain play style. So it's quite an interesting conversation they're having over the exploration mode on Reddit, and quite a few people getting their 2 cents in and saying that part of the fun is changing your style to the different gameplay of the maps. And we've got Dead Poet C. He's after more ways of transportation. He wants more than just land and sea. He'd like rivers, maybe caravans. Walking north to south for many, many days is he's saying it's annoying. So that might also be fixed a bit with different map seeds. If you could be guaranteed a sea route from north to south, it'll be interesting to see what the Southlands add in terms of a map design by the devs. And we've also got Dweller of the Mines coming in. He wants a bit of a change up of the meta. A few of the perks to be rebalanced. I mean, everyone takes certain perks every single time, and some perks don't get used at all. So it'll be interesting to see in future dev updates whether we're going to see any perk rebalancing. Sergeant Henry agrees, and Mayak comes in. He's chasing more perks, not just a rebalance, but new perks as well. He's he would like more interconnected perks that buff each other naturally. So and Doomspoon, he's just keen to get the game as soon as possible and would love to pre-purchase. So that's a brief overview of what they're saying on Reddit. For me, I'd just like to see on the small things sort of front that the devs are talking about, I'm really hoping for just a few quality of life issues. So maybe, I mean, they're mainly things that are covered already by mods. I mean, the mod creators are great because they go for the things that the client base really is chasing. So for me personally, I'd love a way of helping to take away the randomization of the map a bit, to be able to say I'd like this many settlements. I'd like to guarantee that I get all the trade goods on the map, that sort of thing. That said, I mean, I'm also the type of person that just pays whatever map comes along. I don't tend to re-roll maps or re-roll my starting guides at all. I sort of adapt the play style to the map that I have. And also, there's a mod that speeds up the turn times. I would love to see the devs just add a few quality of life things. So let us know in the comments down below. What do you think so far of the dev update? What do you think of how the DLC is going so far? And how's the dev blog summary going? This is a new format for me. Did you like it? Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you didn't like it, leave a comment. Let me know what I can do better. Let me know what you'd like to see in the Battle Brothers world, in any content I can provide. And Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.